Hello everyone, my name is Marion with DTM Real Talk Channel. It's the channel that you can tune into, have the ability to listen to the thoughts of others about topics all over the world that touch every one of our lives. Everybody goes through basically the same thing. There is nothing new under the sun. So if you're going through, someone else has already been there. Maybe you can find hope. Maybe it's a pathway that can set you on the right road just by tuning in. So DTM Real Talk, just keeping it real. And if you like it, like us at the bottom, subscribe, and let us know just how we helped you. Just keeping it real. Nothing but love. Good evening. This is DTM Real Talk, and we're just keeping it real tonight, this morning, this evening, wherever you are all over the world. And I'm excited. I guess y'all say I'm always excited. I got a special guest, special guest today, tonight, this evening, this morning, that I haven't seen in 3 years, right?
It's 3 years. It's been three. Wow.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years. Yes.
And she is from the great big state of Texas. Well, she lives in the great big state of Texas. Say hello to the good folks out there, girl.
Hello, everyone. Hope all is doing well.
And tell them your name.
My name is Bridgette Norman, and from Texas, but actually from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh, you are? I didn't know you were from Little Rock.
Yes.
Okay. Well, guys, we're going to talk a little bit today because I know this woman has a powerful story. But before you hear where she is today, you got to hear where she been. You're looking good, girl.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
We have to try. We have to do our best.
She said she wanted to take her a picture because she looking kind of cute. But
no, I take a picture. Working from home, you're like, okay, yeah. T-shirt.
You still working from home?
Yes, I did retire officially, but I am doing contract work to July. Yeah, doing contract work to July for the same company.
Okay, very well. Get it all while you can. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so tell the good folks out there where you're from, which is Arkansas, and tell them what about your family, siblings, what you have going on. Share that with them.
Okay, I'm from a little town called Wrightsville, Arkansas, which is about 12 miles south of Little Rock and about 25 miles north of Pine Bluff. So I'm from a little town. I am the 11th of 13 children.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yes. My God has blessed. My oldest sister is 85, and the baby will be 61. The Lord's will, July.
Whoa.
So, 85-year-old sister still drives and do her thing. So God has blessed us. But from a very large family. Mother lived till she was 97.
Right.
She passed about 5 years ago.
Yes.
But from a very large family, from a little small town that they actually incorporated in 1985, and they have supposedly 1,500 people. But we were like, okay, are they counting the chickens, the dogs? Who are they counting as? But again, they have a mayor, and they are, doing stuff. They are doing stuff. So. A little bitty town, and so my mom lived there for 60 plus years before she passed. So just a little town. So that's where I'm from. I went to high school in Little Rock, and then moved out in 79. Moved to Seattle.
Okay. So we Bridget wants to share with the good folks. That she is so celibate today. And we're going to talk about the beginning.
Oh, my.
How many years we working on? We used to laugh about this all the time because we were chasing one another. We're still chasing one another.
December 21st, 2021 was 30 years.
30 years. I'm pushing 26, girl. So before we talk about the how and how we doing, let's talk about where we came from. So we graduated, what, 18, 19, whatever?
I graduated in 19, the first, how can I say, first time I had sex, I was 16. 16, and graduated in 77, and just went through a moment there of, yeah.
Were you married, Bridget? You were married before, weren't you?
I've been married twice.
Okay, let's talk about that. What about the first time around?
It was something to do.
Hey, we're just keeping it real on here today.
I tell people it was someone that I dated and went to the prom together. That was it. Went to the prom together, and then 2 years later, he was back in town. He was military, back in town, and he's like, "Well, I think we should get married." I'm like, "Oh, okay." This is how much thought I put into it. This much, like, oh, he was in a different state. He was in Washington State, and as life goes on, you sit back and go, if I wanted to leave town, all I had to do was pack my bags and go. I didn't have to get married, but I did.
Right?
Yeah.
It's called young and dumb.
Yes. But I did it 2 times, not 1 time.
So you was young and dumb twice.
Exactly.
And young people don't want to listen to us. We got the t-shirts. They won't listen. We tell them it's hot. They won't say, I want to feel it and see.
Yes. Oh, you had to, and was able to transfer my job from Arkansas to Seattle. So it wasn't like I wouldn't have had a job. I could have hadn't seen him in about 2 years because he was military. I moved to Seattle, get married in Seattle. I got married in October 79, and then in May of 80, he left and went to Panama.
Okay.
And I'm going, oh, I'm here by my.
He just left you.
He was military.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's right.
So he left, and it was he felt that I should have went back home to stay with his mother. And I'm going, but my mother lived 5 minutes down the road. So why would I go
stay with your mama?
Mama, I got a mama. Stay with mama. Or how about I just go back and get my apartment, because when you came to my house, that's why I was in an apartment. I don't have to stay with anybody's mom. So, but during that time, I'm talking from the first time, at age 16, I just went through a zone. I was dating someone and thought that we were going to get married, and that broke off. And it was like I just went through a moment of, as I go back through it now, it's kind of a self-worth. Like, well, don't nobody want you now.
Yeah.
So
insecurity kicked in. Am I right?
That insecurity kicked in, where it's kind of like, well, okay, oh, well, this person is talking to me. And when we tell our children, and our parents tell us, be careful of little boys, because all they want is one thing. Well, they'll only want it. They may want it, but it's still up to us to give it to them.
That's correct.
But at that time, it was like, oh, okay, well, he wanted, so I'm gonna give it here, and it just.
Right.
Yes, that is like, yeah, just out there, but not bad. I would say I did that for about a year. And then, so by the time the husband came along, at that time, I didn't really count how long you've been celibate. I didn't even count all that. I'm kind of like, okay, but he comes along, and so we're now together. He moves, he goes to Panama, and it says, he's never coming back to Seattle. Like, oh. Right now, I'm going, well, I'm not going back to Arkansas. I'm good here. Mm-hmm. So I started dating someone, and we shacked up for about 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then, now I don't know why I didn't marry him, because he asked me many times. And got divorced, and then, and again, got divorced while I was shacking. So I'm just going to keep it real. That's what this.
Back it up for the good part. Because I'm lost. Wait. You got divorced from.
Okay, so the husband went to Panama.
Okay.
Then I met someone, and him and I started.
You met somebody while the husband was in Panama.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So then I got my divorce, And the person, yeah. So I did it kind of backwards, yes, but I did it backwards. And so then I ended up living with him for 2 years, and he asked me to marry him. But at that time, I'm just like, no, I don't want to get married. Should have gotten married to him, but didn't. So, I got some shoulda, woulda, couldas. And so him and I were together for 2 years, and he made me mad one day. Made me mad one day. And I'm like, I don't be with you no more either. So meet a guy at my church. You and I should get married. Okay. Now I did this one time. Didn't marry the one I was with for 2 years. Meet somebody and say, okay, first date. Okay. Next thing I knew, 2 months later, we were married. Mistake. He was an abuser.
Wow.
He was an
Physical,
abuser.
emotional?
Huh?
Physical?
Both. To the point where it was easier to play sick. I did quite a few emergency room visits just so I didn't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then then went through that phase. But God is good. God is again,
merciful, I should say.
Oh, very merciful, because I'm telling you, the last time he hit me, I told his mother that he had one more time to hit me. Somebody was going to die, and I was going to learn how to smoke cigarettes because I was going to the pen. I just gave her here one more time.
Right.
And the night that I was we got into it, and I'm like, this is it. But at that point in my life, even though I was born and raised in church, mother and father, mother sung in the choir, usher boy, father was superintendent of the Sunday school. If nobody wasn't in church, the Owens family was in church. Okay, we were there Monday. No, we're there on Sunday, BTU. We were there. So, but when I moved to Seattle, well, Mama ain't here, so nobody knows me. Nobody's gonna say Miss Owens.
Let me pause you for the good folks. I know where you're going with it.
Yes,
I want to pause you for the good folks. So there's no guarantee just because your mama was a whatever she was, and your daddy was a preacher, and you went to church and all that. That's no guarantee about relationship.
Exactly.
That's just knowing about God.
And the scripture tells us that. Look at Eli and his sons. It's in the scripture.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's just knowing about God and being
exactly
about God. And your parents do the best they can to do that. But again, it's about choices.
Exactly.
It's about choices. So you can continue. And I just want to.
No, and we know the protocol. We know how to go into the church, throw up your hands. We know how to do tip out, put your finger up. We know how to do all of that.
This finger, girl.
But again, like I said, the relationship wasn't there.
Right.
So this one particular night that I had decided, after I told his mother, I was done. And at that time, I had planned it out, what I was going to do. But that night, I'm going to say how it was. Something told me, don't do it, because his child was there. And I did, and you don't want the child to wake up and find this bad situation going on.
Right.
So I know later what the something was. But anyway, but at that time, that's what it was. So I decided that in order for me to get a little peace of mind, I had to leave the whole state of Washington, not move to another town, just I'm out. Because this is somebody is going to the pen.
Right.
And I already had, it was going to be me. So anyway, but that still sent me through a spin, because it sent me back on that promiscuous track again.
Yes.
It sent me back on, he was an abuser. And not only that, but he had other women. So it set me back. And so then I now went through that. Well, I'm going to show you, innocent woman, how it feels. So I went through that.
Mm-hmm.
Dating married men.
Right.
I went through that phase in my life.
Sure.
And it was, and so, yeah, it was, but still, no, I'm not going back to church. I was not in.
You know, I'm listening to you and I'm thinking so many women share this same story.
Mhm.
And it all comes from, well, you know, ultimately sin, but it all comes from lack of self-worth, having to
Yes,
be validated by someone
yes,
else in order to feel like you're worth something. And
exactly,
that
exactly.
is a big insecurity. That's insecurity. And
Yes.
so we all have suffered from it at some point or another, and
Mhm.
still is at some points. So yeah, looking for self-worth. Yeah.
Mhm.
So and then we find it, as I was listening to you, you found it in promiscuity. You know,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. I found it in promiscuity. And
Mhm.
so promiscuity, however you want to put it. But you know, and it's fake, it's not real because it doesn't
Exactly.
last. It doesn't
Exactly.
last.
Exactly. Because you're hoping, even though you know it's fake and you know it's not real, but there's still that piece of you that's hoping that maybe he's the one.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna, say, okay, this is not a one night stand. This is oh, she's the one for me. This is, you're hoping that even though you know,
You know,
you know,
you
you
know that man,
know,
you know that man ain't gonna leave his wife.
the ones that I was with that didn't have a wife. You know
Right.
you're not it. You know you're not it. And you're
Exactly.
hoping.
Yeah.
I mean, I just kind of like hope, like, hmm. And
Yeah.
by now we're talking from 79 to 80, 86. We're not talking 10, 20 years. We're talking
Right.
this little short period of time.
Yeah.
And so after going through all of that, then losing my job,
Mm-hmm.
and because it became, it was more partying. Oh, I was partying 6 nights a week. I could tell you who had the ladies' night and who had whatever was going on.
Uh-huh.
And so that's where I was at, just
Yeah. Yeah.
out there reckless. And this was during a time when, and this is how the the enemy will try to just fool you, because this was during the time when in Seattle, this was during the time where there was a man out there that was killing women.
That
He
was
would,
doing what?
when this man was killing women, he would
Killing
behead
women.
them, just meet them, behead them, and leave them.
Yeah.
And that was no fear for me with that.
Yeah.
It didn't even bother me. And
Wow.
so that shows you how reckless, how
Yes. Yes.
the self-worth was just down. I mean, in the under the bucket.
Yes.
I mean, and that's really real. It
Yeah.
really is real.
Yeah. That's real.
How we can allow people and ourselves to put us there.
Yes.
So went through that phase of my life. I went through that until 85.
Wow.
I went through that. I then decided the first husband calls and says, "Hey, how you doing? You want to move to Denver? Sure." There I go.
God. We just keeping it real, y'all. Y'all want to hear real? This real right here.
No thought.
Right.
No thought. Leave Denver, pack up my little boxes, because by now I lost my job. Move back home with my mama. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm out again. I'm gone. But the first night when I got there, the first night he raped me. Him
Wow.
and two of his friends raped me.
Wow.
First night. That
That was
took,
the first husband.
that was the first husband.
Wow.
And even to acknowledge the rape
Mm-hmm.
took me probably 25 years to
Sure.
acknowledge that was what happened to me.
Right. Yeah.
And so now still the spiral,
Right.
because you did not want me, but I'm not talking to the Lord. I'm
Right.
not asking None of that.
I remember the picture right now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not in the picture.
Right.
But I remember telling my mama, well, why you didn't tell me, stop me? She's just like, because you're grown. And you know who God is. She said, I'm praying that God will deal with you. So had to deal with that. So that's a whole nother spiral now, because I'm here in Denver and I have no money. I have no job. And this is what you do to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Keeping it real. Well, okay. So we start off, we lose our virginity at 16, starts to spiral. We're looking for self-worth and trying to be validated. We get married twice. We shack up once or so. I said or so. And then we start to spiral. and so at what point did you say, I'm sick of all of this? Wait, I don't want to know right now. I think the good folks need to hear what happened, how you got to the point of, I surrender, Lord. They need to know. So we're going to tell them next week. I think. Don't you think that'll be good?
That'll be good.
Okay, y'all, this is DTM Real Talk, and we're just doing what?
Keeping it real. Real talk. We
See you
keeping
next
it real.
week.
Thanks for watching DTM Real Talk. Be sure to join us for more conversation. And oh yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe while you're there.